Good day, everyone. It's Chef P. We're making the classic 3-egg omelet today, and so let's look at what we need here. Our mise en place. Pretty simple. I'm not going to provide you a recipe on this one because really it's 3 eggs and the other things that you like in them. So we've got eggs. Today I'm going to use some red onion, some green pepper. Using Gouda cheese. You can use whatever cheese you like. You could put bacon, ham, smoked salmon, anything that you like in there too. We're going to talk about our pans here. So in a perfect world, if everybody had one of these pans, this would be great. This is a non-stick pan and usually makes things a little bit easier. But if we go with the classic here, we're going to go with a regular pan, and I'm going to show you how to season that. So we're going to start off by just warming this up a little bit. And what we're going to do is we're going to put a little bit of oil into here, and we're going to brush the inside, and we're going to just slowly warm it up and create a coating. You're going to need another little pan here to saute the things that you're going to put inside. And so if you're putting anything inside, it's nice to just saute those a little bit so that they're not crunchy, so that some of those flavors can be released into your omelet. Okay, so I'm just going to shift positions with the camera, and then we'll take you through it. Okay, so I'm getting rid of this pan. Okay, so I'm not going to use this. If you have it, this is great because you can just put your butter in and start making your omelet. But I'm going to show you how to season this pan, and I think that's an important thing too. In the restaurant business, for the years that I was a chef in many different places, I always kept a few of these pans that I had seasoned, and I had put them aside just to do omelets and crepes. And I kept that seasoned pan away from other things that I was using. You'll hear often Gordon Ramsay will talk a lot about people's skills, and one of the main skills of being a chef is, can you cook a proper omelet? Most people overcook their eggs. Some people put milk in it. You do not need milk. You should not have milk. But really, making an omelet is a real sort of precise way of cooking, and just being able to use the visuals to see when that is ready. Okay, and as soon as that egg is just cooked through, boom, off you go, take it off, serve it up, and then it's nice and fluffy, bright yellow, very delicious. And you don't get some of those darkened brown bits on the side that have that sort of metallic, nasty egg taste. You don't want that. Okay, so with this, I'm gonna grab some oil, and I'm going to put some oil into this small container. And I'm just going to use this little paper towel, and I just want to coat it, and I'm going to try to do this a couple times. So my heat right now is maybe just less than medium, and I'm just slowly trying to warm it up, and I'm actually creating a non-stick surface. I'm filling up the little gaps in there. You want to make sure that this pan is clean. And when we do this at school, for the grade 12 students who might be watching this, you'll remember that in the days where we made crepes and then moved to omelets, that the pans got better and better with use. And that's because we were seasoning, and everybody was doing that. Okay, so it's very important to do that. I'm gonna move this over here so that we can watch the sauteing process. So I'm gonna move this over here. I'm gonna continue to just add some oil levels to it, and it's just warming up. You don't want to make an omelet in a cold pan, but it shouldn't be crazy hot either. Okay, so it's very important. Your eggs as well, they should, if you can, it'd be nice if those eggs were room temperature. Working with eggs that are room temperature are way nicer. So if you take them out a half hour before you're about to do them, just let them sit on the counter before you get started, and that would be really helpful. Okay, so I'm going to move this over, then we're going to go to the cutting part, and then we're going to saute those vegetables, and then we'll start the whole process. Now, the springtime provides us really beautiful things. So in my garden, I just grabbed these right now. These are chives. What a wonderful flavor and a beautiful garnish. The contrast between the yellow of the omelet and the green of the chive, and even the real subtle flavor that chives give you, just absolutely wonderful. So I'm actually going to keep a couple of the little ends here, the little pointy ends, so that I can garnish. So I'm going to take those, I'm going to put those over here. The rest I'm going to chop up. Okay, and then I'm going to bring that to the side. I'm going to keep those little points over here, Okay, and I'm going to keep those to cook with. I'm going to take a slice of red onion. I'm just going to sort of roughly chop that. I just want a light dice, but I don't want too much. I'm only making one omelet here. Okay, and again, the mise en place is so important for an omelet because the omelet will be made within a minute. It's very, very quick. So, a little bit of green pepper. You're not going to need piles of this stuff unless you're making a few. And I like to go a little on the thin side. I like it to break up. That's it. Beautiful. Okay. So I'm going to keep my little garnish points. I'm going to keep those aside. And there we go. And I have a few extras here that might be pretty as well. I didn't have any red pepper here today, but red pepper is beautiful because it has a sweetness. And again, that contrast, that color contrast is beautiful with that. So I'm going to move us over to the cooking section. We're going to saute those these vegetables and get them ready to prepare our omelet. Okay, so this is warming up here, and my other pan is still over here. It's on a low heat, and I'm just adding a little bit more wipings of oil, and you'll start to see a real shininess come to this pan, and that's what we want. You want that slow heat to sort of, it almost bakes on that oil finish, so that when we actually add butter, you'll have this level that won't make it stick. So on this side over here, I'm gonna increase my heat a little bit, and I'm gonna put some butter in. I like butter because of the flavor, and I think that the butter works really, really well with an omelet. So I prefer that. I'm going to take my onions, peppers, and I'm going to take some of those chives, pop those in there like that. And I'm just going to slowly make sure they're coated. A little bit of salt and pepper. And I'm going to allow that to saute. I'm not trying to get any browning on this. I'm just trying to just lighten it up, saute it, sweat it out, get those flavors out so that when I add them to my omelet, that they permeate and they go through my entire omelet, but there's no darkness to these colors at all. So now that I've got a little bit of a saute going here, I'll just drop it right down and I'll let that sit there for a bit. Now, our eggs. Good, you can see them there. When you crack your eggs, okay, some people crack them on the side of the bowl. Well, the problem with that is, of course, you're getting shrapnel into the bowl. You don't want that. We don't want to cook with that. So I'm just going to, here, I'll do the two-handed first. Just against the, can you even see it? There we go. Like that, right? Then, with this thumb and this thumb, I just slowly break them apart and let that egg fall in. Keep that for compost. If you want to do the single hand, same basic thing, and what I do is I use my thumb and my finger and I just sort of pull that apart and come out. Some people think this is a show-off unit. A lot of times it really has to do with chefs trying to hurry up and crack eggs at the same time with two hands, and that's where that comes from, but that's how it's done. All right, so what you will do now is you're going to take these eggs, we're going to cut, you're going to break those yolks, and just beat them. Again, no milk. No milk is required in this recipe whatsoever. And even scrambled eggs, and I know some people like it and they think it makes it fluffy and all that kind of thing, but it's really not about that. The fluffiness comes from not being overcooked. So eggs just have to be just cooked through, and that's it. All right, so that's prepared. My vegetables are beautiful. Take that over here. I'm gonna bring this pan back, okay? I'm gonna put another coating. You can't go with too many coatings of this oil. And again, my pan is getting nice and hot. All right, so we will now move to butter. We're going to increase our heat to about medium high, all right? once that's done, I'm actually going to use a spatula to do this. Okay, rubber spatula that is, bowl scraper. Okay, and you could also use a regular spatula as well. I want to get a nice coating of butter, and I'm going to see it sort of foam up on the bottom. That's what I want. Then I'm going to give this a last beat. Whoops, there we go. The technical difficulties, of course. So, beat that, pop it in there. You should hear a little bit of a little sizzle, which is great. And what we're going to do now is you're actually just going to, as it starts to coagulate on the sides, I'm just going to start bringing that to the inside. And I'm going to move the pan. Okay. I'm not sure I'm going to get that edited out. Anyway, and of course, time is of the essence. So we're going to move this here. Move this here. That's it. And I'm just filling up those gaps. And then when it starts to look like it's starting to set more and more and more, I'm going to stop. And you'll see this is kind of how it looks like. There's still some liquid here, and you'll see the different colors. Let that cook a little bit. Okay, and what I like to do is just sort of take some of that part that's not cooked and move it to the sides this way. Beautiful. And any little gaps, if you see little holes in there, you can fill them in just with the egg that's there. All right, now it's looking pretty good. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to get the center ready, and that center is really my my ingredients. And I'm going to line them through the center this way. That's it. So I'm just making a line through the center like so. Once that is done, I'm going to melt some cheese. And again, I'm going to try to go right through the center. You can prepare this cheese in advance. I'm using Gouda today, but you could use whatever cheese you really like. Now, classically, an omelet is a three-fold, okay? So some people will do them as a two-fold, where they just sort of do it as a half moon. Classically, it should be a three-fold. So we'll see if we can do this onto our plate. And I'm starting to see that. I'm going to flip that over. Look at that beautiful color that I have here. I'm going to do the same over here. I'm going to flip that over here. That's it. And I get this cute football kind of shape. If you feel like it's not melted enough or it's not doing what it needs to do, you can let it cook a little bit more, but reduce your heat. I'll even turn it right off. And what you're going to do, this is, the folds are on the top, they're facing here. You always want to flip that over so that you don't see the folds. So the easiest way to do that is from here, I'm going to go here to the pan, and then I'm going to flip it over like that. Then, okay, I'm going to move views here so that you can see a little bit better. Okay, so this is how it looks. Okay, so that looks really, really nice. And what we're going to do is we're just going to put some of these chives on top. And again, if you had a little bit of red pepper, that would be beautiful as well. I'm just putting a few accents here on the plate. And actually, I'm just going to do that. Beautiful. I don't want to have anything on the edges of the plate. I'm going to finish that by putting a little tiny cross of these chives. And that's it. That's a 3-egg classic omelet. Again, should not be overdone. Should just be gorgeous, just cooked all the way through. All right, hope you enjoyed that. Sorry about the little bumps where the phone fell down. I may get better at this in time. We'll see. Anyways, have a great, great day. See you.